Good morning to all of you. Today we are going to discuss about the remaining part of Indian planning, that is achievements of Indian planning. We have already discussed about the objectives. Now we will start the first discussion with the achievements of Indian planning. In the first part, I categorically told you we have just introduced in 5-year plans in 1951. Now we have reached 2020. Almost we have crossed 70 years of Indian planning. In 70 years, for example, now it is time for us to analyze the success and failures of Indian planning. We have fixed many objectives. We have fixed many aims, many targets during these 70 years. Now it is essential for us to analyze the success and failures of Indian planning. Just a small point I would like to add you over here. When we started Indian planning, we have introduced 5-year plan in the year 1951, and this within the 70 years from 1951, 1952, 2020, in 70 years we have introduced 12 5-year plans, and we have also introduced 3 annual plans in the years 1966-67, 1967-68 and 1968-1969. We have introduced 3 annual plans, suspending the previous 5-year plan. Again after 69, we have again introduced that 5-year plan. But now in the year 2016, our government, under central government, under the Prime Minister of Narendra Modi, have introduced Niti Aayog instead of Indian 5-year planning. The small thing I would like to tell you about Niti Aayog is it is a decentralized planning. Previous 5-year plan, state governments were not being given enough scope, but under Niti Aayog, central government is being calling all the state government, chief ministers and its official to participate in Indian planning that takes each and every year. This is the point of discussion of Niti Aayog. But the fact is that we have to analyze the planning system before 2016. Almost we have covered 66 years, and the remaining 4 years, almost around 70 years we have crossed in Indian planning. Now we will discuss the success and failures of Indian planning. We will evaluate our performance of Indian planning. The meaning of achievement is that we will evaluate the performance, we will evaluate the success and failures of Indian planning. What we have achieved, what we have not achieved, what we are going to achieve. That is a major point of discussion of today's discussion. Before going to discuss about achievements of Indian planning, let me recall you, we have discussed about objectives, we have discussed about the targets, we have discussed about the aims in our previous section. I told you in the objectives, we have fixed the first target, that is your economic growth or national income. For every country, this is the biggest objective. For each and every country, whatever the planning may be centralized, the planning may be decentralized, the planning may be small or the planning may be big, but this is the first and the foremost objective of each and every country's planning. And the point is that economic growth and national income. What does it imply? Economic growth refers to the rise or increase in national income over a long period of time. That is called economic growth. That is called your GDP, gross domestic product growth. So, regarding the performance of economic growth, regarding the performance of national income, I would like to tell you that we have achieved the target of national income growth only in first 5-year plan. Except first 5-year plan, we have not achieved the target of national income growth or GDP growth, for example, in all the plans, for example. Only in first 5-year plan, we have achieved the target what we have fixed in 1951. Just a small example. We have started first plan in 1951 and we have ended the first plan in 1956. Within that short 5-year duration, we have fixed the target, the growth rate or GDP growth that we have achieved only in the first plan. In all other plans, we have not achieved the target of 5-year plan that we have fixed before the 5-year plans. But we have achieved the target only in first plan. So we can say that first plan, our growth rate is almost 3.6% first plan, and we have completed our 12th plan and the growth rate remains 7.6%. Starting from first plan to now 12th plan, our growth rate is from 3.6 and now it is 7.6. But after 12th plan, now we will talk about the latest growth rate. For example, 2020, for example, we have a very bad performance in 2020. In the last quarter, I am just giving a short introduction, short explanation. Quarter, every financial year is being divided into 4 quarters. Every financial year is being classified under 4 quarters. Starting from financial year April 1, April, May, June will be the first quarter. July, August, September will be the second quarter. And October, November, December will be the third quarter. And the last quarter will be your January, February, March. So, I am talking about the previous 2 quarters. I am talking about the quarter of October, November, December. And before that, in the last 2 quarters, our performance in GDP, our growth rate of GDP is below 5%, for example, we can say. It is below 5%. In the last 2 quarters, our economy has seen a very dismal performance. Our economy has seen a very bad performance in GDP growth rate. It is below 5%. That we never expect. We have started with a growth rate of 3.6%. In 12th plan, we have achieved almost 7.6% in the year 2016. But now, 2020 in the last 2 quarters, for example, in the last 2 quarters, we have seen a GDP growth rate of less than 5%. That is the real problem of our economic system. So, overall, I am telling we have achieved our increase in national income target only in first plan. But except first plan, we have never achieved our target in all the plans. And realizing the performance of 2020, it is a very bad performance because previous we have achieved the target of 7.76. So we have achieved the GDP growth of 7.6, around 7%. But now we are achieving how much? That below 5%. This is the performance of economic growth. Coming down to point number 2, we will discuss about agricultural development. This objective comes important. This objective comes immense. This objective comes important in the sense in India, nearly half the population depend on agriculture. Our basic occupation is agriculture. Whatever it may be, we depend mainly on agriculture. As population is increasing, the dependence also is increasing. Nearly 50% of the Indian population depends on agriculture. So it is now highly essential what we have achieved in planning era for our agricultural development. Keeping in view the agricultural development, we have not achieved much except that green revolution in 1965-66. We have achieved a positive note in agriculture only in the year 1965-66. That is your green revolution. Except green revolution, besides green revolution, we have not achieved a positive note in Indian planning so far as agricultural development is being concerned. Now, you talk about agricultural development, we have introduced green revolution. Green revolution has also some demerits. Green revolution has been introduced in Punjab and Haryana. We have started green revolution in Punjab and Haryana. Still now, we have crossed 50 years, more than 50 years, 55 to 60 years, but it has not been extended to all over India. Odisha has not been tested the fruits of green revolution. We have crossed many years of green revolution, but it has not been extended to all over India. Second point I would like to tell you, green revolution we have introduced in wheat, but later on it was extended to rice, but it is not extended to all the crops all over India, for example. So the biggest demerit of green revolution that it is crop specific, it is area specific. It is being extended to limited areas and it is extended to only limited crops. But one positive note we can say, in 1951, the food grain production we have almost it is 51 million tons. In around 2000, it jumped to more than 200 million tons. Regarding the food grain production, I am just discussing about the food grain production. Regarding food grain production, in 1951, we have achieved the food grain production of 51 million ton, and now almost as per the statistics available in 2000, we can say the food grain production have jumped to more than 200 million tons in the year 2000, for example. This is purely possible due to the introduction of a green revolution. But still, as the major source of development, it is the major occupation. So we have to develop agriculture on a large scale. We have not seen a very huge performance in the field of agriculture, for example. Coming down to next point, for example, we will go for industrial development. Industrial development, we can say that we have also not achieved as far as industrial development is concerned, because right from starting we have focused on public sector investment. Right from starting we have focused on public sector investment, but on the other hand, public sector has not been performing up to the mark. We can say that our industrial growth rate is almost 6% in your first plan. Now it is steadily improving, but in India, for example, realizing the need of industrial expansion, it has not been improved so much so far Indian economy is concerned. That is your industrial development. This is due to the fact that we are mainly depending on public sector for industrial expansion. But on the other hand, public sector is not being performing on a large scale. It is not being performing a positive note, for example. But we can say we have a happy note, we will have a positive note in the year 1991. We have introduced the policy of new economic policy, for example. When we introduced the new economic policy in the year 1991, that is the policy of LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization. This is a boost to industrial segment. We have removed all type of restrictions on industrial licensing. We have allowed now private sector to come forward. We have entered global market. So there are many concepts, new concepts we have introduced in the year 1991, which is a biggest boost to our industrial development. Now we are slowly performing in industrial development, because in the starting itself, we have already realized, before independence, we have also realized at the time of implementation of 5-year plans, we have already realized that without industrial development, we can't develop. The history of world economy is telling you that the countries who are being developed, the countries who are being advanced, they are so strong in industrial development. So to be strong in our economy, we have to develop our industrial sector. But to industrial development is not being up to satisfactory till 1991. But 1991, we have made a revolution in industrial development after introducing the policy of new economic policy, where we have given some relaxations to our industrial segment. We have removed the restrictions on industrial sector. We have introduced some new measures in industrial sector. We have also introduced some financial and banking sector reforms. We have also allowed that FDI, foreign direct investment, up to 51% without any government approval. We have also allowed foreign technology without any government approval. So these are the signals we are seeing. These are the indicators we are seeing that we are targeting in the year to come, we will achieve a milestone in industrial development. But before 1991, as we focused on public sector investment, our performance was very low in industrial development. Coming into next point, we can say self-sufficiency. While we discuss about the objectives of Indian planning, I told you that self-sufficient is the main priority of Indian economy, because as we are supporting a huge population, first of all we have to be self-dependent. First of all we have to self-reliant. Then only we can be a developed country. So realizing the need, we have introduced the objective of self-sufficiency, and we can say after 70 years of planning, almost we have given some justice to the concept of self-sufficiency. Because at the time of independence, we are mainly depending on foreign countries. We are importing raw materials, we are importing machines, we are importing capital goods. Sometimes we are also importing some food grain items. But nowadays, for example, we have to depend on ourselves so far as food grain is being concerned. India is in producing for its needs. Now we are able to produce in agriculture. Now we are producing whatever is being required in India for our food grain production is being concerned. We have introduced the policy of export promotion. We have introduced the policy of import substitution. Import substitution is a policy that will replace, it is a policy that will replace your foreign capital goods by producing domestic based industrial goods. So we can say we have achieved, our achievements is being up to the mark so far as self-sufficiency is being concerned. From 2 points it is very clear. First, we have achieved self-sufficiency in food grain production. Nowadays, we are no longer depending on foreign countries for our food grain production, number one. And number two, I would like to tell you that in self-sufficiency, instead of importing large capital goods, large machines, large raw materials from advanced countries, now India could be able to produce some machinery items, some capital goods by using its domestic or indigenous technology. This is the mark of self-sufficiency we have achieved somehow after 70 years of Indian planning. Let us discuss about the other achievements of Indian planning. So if we focus about the other points or achievements of Indian planning, we can write that employment generation, we have seen in a vast population country like India, unemployment is the major challenge. Unemployment has been the major challenge to our Indian economy. So we have fixed removal of unemployment as an objective of Indian planning. As far as employment generation is concerned, we have created almost 16 million jobs in first and second plan. And as of now, currently, we have almost created more than 50 million jobs. But the main thing is that we are putting every possible effort to increase the rate of employment. But the situation doesn't permit us due to the vast population growth. I told you, each and every year we are adding 2 crores of new population to our existing population. Now we are supporting 135 crores of population. So each and every year, you just understand the meaning of each and every year, the new population of 2 crores to old population. We are putting our best possible effort to create many additional employment opportunities. But our every effort goes disappear. Our every effort goes in vain due to the huge population growth so far as our economy is being concerned. I just put the statistics over here. In the first and second plan, we have almost created 16 million jobs, and as of now, we think we have created more than 15 million jobs, but still we have a backlog. We have a backlog of unemployment. It will be around 40 million. It will be around 40 million backlog of unemployment is there. It is due to the effect of heavy pressure of population in India. We are putting best possible effort. We have achieved that also, but we are unable to adjust with the huge rise of population to create or to adjust the employment generation in Indian economy, we can say. Coming to the next point, for example, we can say social services. Under social services, we will examine the provision of education. Under social services, we will examine the provision of health facilities. For example, we can say whatever we are there in the time of independence in the 1951, we have achieved much. We have improved our life expectancy. Now it is the life expectancy, the longevity of years, the year we expect to live at the time of birth, it increased to 67 years. Although it is less to developed countries. In developed countries, average man expect to live almost 75 to 80 years. But now in India, it is 67 years. But at the time of independence, our life expectancy was 32 years. It is due to the control in death rate, due to expansion of medical facilities, due to expansion of hospital facilities, due to advanced research and technology in medical facilities, we are able to control our death rate, and also we are able to increase our life expectancy. Now our life expectancy is 67 years. Now our life expectancy is almost 67 years. I told you the meaning of life expectancy. Life expectancy implies the average number of years a person expects to live at the time of birth, the longevity of a person's. It is almost 75 to 80 years in advanced countries, but still we have achieved a lot, because at the time of independence, the life expectancy of India is 32 years. The time we see that, because in that time, for example, various contagious diseases are spreading in India, and we are unable to control such type of diseases. That is why the life expectancy in India at the time of independence is around 32 years. From 32 years, we have improved to 67 years. This is a biggest improvement due to medical and health facilities. So we can say we have achieved a milestone in medical and health facilities. Our death rate has been also declined due to medical improvement in medical and health facilities. For example, when you talk about social service, we will focus on 2 points. One will be your education, and other will be your health. These are the 2 points we will focus on under social services. As far as health is concerned, I put the statistics, I give you the details. As far as education is concerned, in the field of education, we have opened many universities, we have opened many colleges, we have opened many new schools. This is the biggest improvement in Indian economy. We have implemented right to education. We have implemented right to education in the sense we are making compulsory education for elementary schools. We have made the education compulsory for the children in the age of 6 to 14 years under right to education, for example. That is, accordingly, we have opened new schools, we have opened new colleges, we have opened new university. This is also a biggest achievement in the education sector that we can say in our Indian planning. So we have just put our discussion of social services. We have discussed about employment and generation. We will also focus on discussion about the development of science and technology. Right from the beginning, all the developed countries of the world, they are They have fully developed in the field of science and technology. We know the effect, but we do not have proper uh, scope for that. But during 70 years of planning, we can say we have achieved a lot in the field of science and technology, for example. Not only we are able to do research in the field of science and technology, but also we are now sending manpower. We are sending manpower to advanced countries, for example. Now we have achieved a great achievement in the field of science and technology. As I told, due to the improvement in science and technology, we have modernized our industrial segment. We have modernized our infrastructure. It is the modernization in industrial sector, the modernization in infrastructure development. It is purely possible due to the improvement in science and technology, for example. That is a great achievement in India economy. This is a great achievement of our. This is a great achievement of our human power or human resource that we have achieved in that 70 years of Indian planning, that we can say. Then we will discuss about control of inflation. Control of inflation. We have been trying from planning era to control our inflation rate, but somehow we are sorry to say that we are unable to control the rate of inflation, which is moving around 2 digits every time now. This fact can be due to the huge rise in population, due to huge population pressure. We are putting so many efforts. Central government is putting fiscal policy every year. Your RBI is putting strict monetary policy. After the efforts made by central government, after efforts made by the central bank, still we are unable to control, we are unable to bring that double-digit inflation rate, for example. We are unable to control the double-digit inflation rate. We are making every possible effort by central bank. We are making every possible effort by central government in the form of fiscal policy, in the form of monetary policy of the central bank. But still, we are sorry to say that we have not achieved a remarkable performance to control the price level or to control the inflation rate. We will make our discussion, we will put our conclusion by adding one more point over here. We can say distributive justice. Mahatma Gandhi at the time of independence has rightly said, our society, our country should be based on social justice. All should be equal here because we are having a diverse population. There should not be any type of discrimination. So, realizing the statement of Mahatma Gandhi, our planning system have put that reduction of economic inequalities and social inequalities, for example. This is the biggest challenge of independence India. But I am very unfortunate to tell you that we have also not achieved much in distributive justice. Still, we have achieved, we have crossed, we have passed 70 years of Indian planning, but still I can say we have not achieved, we are unable to reduce that economic inequalities that persist, that exist in Indian economy. In our economy, there is a more probable of rich being more richer and poor being more poorer. Our structure is like that, that can say that we are living in a platform of economic equality. We are making every possible effort. We are putting every effort, but still I can say we are unable to reduce the regional inequality and also economic inequality among individuals, among states, among various localities. We are also not able to maintain that regional equality, and among individuals we are not able to maintain that social and economic equality after 70 years of planning. Although we have realized this from the beginning, because Mahatma Gandhi rightly told that to see India as a better country in the coming days, we have to perform equally. We should grow equally. There should not be any type of discrimination in terms of socially or economically, but I'm sorry us in so far as economic equality is concerned and regional equality is concerned. Still now, there are some locals which are known as developed states. Till now, there are some states which are known as underdeveloped states. Still, in wide, the gap between rich and poor is very wide. There is no reduction. There is no there is no reduction in the gap between rich and poor. So, just we have highlighted, just we have discussed our planning system. We have majorly pointed out the success and failures of the objectives during the 70 years of planning. So I can conclude my view that we have achieved something, but we have a long way to go in Indian planning if we want to see India as a developed country. We have a lot more to achieve. We have a lot more to perform to better for our development of Indian economy. Thank you.